Here, let me help you out though.
Why, do I look bad?
Here, come here. Look over here.
What?
Over here.
Stop, do I have something? Don't pull it.
Here, just helping you out. Just trying to make them look pretty. Okay, you're good. Back to the pile.
All right, we've got a new project here. The Eplings brought us their Hellcat, which they've already done some pretty cool stuff with. It's already got quite a few mods done to it, and it has a 750 cage in it. And it is currently, I believe, the world's fastest Hellcat. They've been 760s with it in the quarter, and they're looking to do more with it. So we're going to do a back half on the car. Pretty much gonna gut everything from the main hoop back. Cut out all of the factory sheet metal, get rid of the axle that's currently in it, and do a full 4-link, full racing setup. What they have currently is kind of it's a 4-link, but you know, it still leaves all of the factory metal in the back, so you kind of have a lot of space limitations, and some of the structure that the 4-link fastens to isn't extremely sturdy. So they've had issues with tearing some tabs loose and some things moving that shouldn't. The anti-roll bar isn't you know, mounted super solid, so they're getting a lot of roll in the car. So for the most part, the car is going to be running on a smaller radial tire. So we're going to make to where all the tire fits inside of the wheel well better than what it does currently. Right now they kind of stick out a little bit, so they're not able to tuck it up inside of the body. So we're also going to try to make room so that they can run a 35-inch tire if they want to bolt a big slick tire on it as well. So the first thing is to start getting all of the sheet metal cut out of the car and really just make a really giant big cavity so that we can have a blank slate and start over and fit everything in there the way it needs to be, and then start building it all back together. So hopefully we can make some pretty good progress on this in the next few weeks. Currently what we have to work with is, this is their existing 4-link setup. You can see here there's almost no adjustment what they have, and then they were having issues with tearing some of this tab loose. So there's some bars coming from the top that kind of supports that, but it's not a super sturdy structure. It's still relying a lot on the body of the car to kind of keep stuff in place. So that's one of the weaknesses they're having currently. And then also, it's a little bit tough to see, but up in there, this is the anti-roll bar, and it is strictly mounted into the body of the car. So and you can almost see some of those parts being tweaked already. So that's why they're getting a lot of the roll that they're getting. So all of this sheet metal is going to go away in the next couple days. We're going to have a big giant hole back here, and we'll turn this back into a full-blown race car.
Four most used wrenches that you will ever use. One, you have your super adjuster.
That's a metric standard wrench.
This is the mini multi-adjuster. This is the one for when shit really doesn't like to move. And all the other wrenches are completely pointless and you never use them.
Hey, guess what I'm doing?
What?
I am plasma cutting the crap out of a Hellcat. How crazy is that? I'm just working on doing some rough cuts, really just trying to get the main bulk of this out. The whole trunk structure, the whole inner tub, everything is all gonna come out. So by the time we're done cutting with this, we're just gonna have the shell of the car. Cody's working on cutting some of the bars out. So I don't know, hopefully we'll have a big cavity in here soon.
See these bolts? See that? Whoever made those needs hit in the face, like repeatedly. $5 if you hold that for 5 minutes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the fun you're having?
For anybody that thinks that I am above doing anything of grinding ability, they are completely wrong. Because this is not fun.
Yeah.
But basically, so we are cutting everything out. So, like, I mean everything. As you can kind of see, we are open, so.
Pretty much what we're finding is that on a unibody car, there is layer after layer after layer.
Good example is right here.
If you look in here, there's the inner, and then there's the other inner, and then there's the actual outer. And it's just, yeah, like down in here, there's a lot of main structure, thicker stuff. And yeah, just
like you had to cut
lots of layers.
That out. Then you have to cut that layer.
Yeah.
Then that one. And then that one.
Yeah. Huh. Right down here. All the layers along with the foam and everything else. It's great fun. Especially when you get up into these corners. It's, I don't know, kind of a conundrum sometimes. But we're getting there. I can walk around inside the car without climbing in it. So that's a good thing.
If any of you young boys think you got what it takes to come and work here, I'll give you a grinder and a Sawzall.
There you go.
$10 a day. You cut this. You can cut.
Shoot, I'll give you
all
30
day.
bucks
I'll
a
give
day.
you 30. Yeah. That and a free Gatorade. That's what you're getting.
Maybe even lunch.
Alright, so we've mostly got the Hellcat ready to start building back in. We got all of the unibody stuff and the double and triple layer sidewall stuff mostly cut out. We still have like 1 or 2 little panels to cut out and a few things to clean up, but once we have that done, we'll just be waiting for some parts to show up, waiting for the axle to get here, and all our 4-link brackets. Once all of that stuff is here, we can start building back in. Got to get the axle and the 4-link brackets located, and then we can start building frame rails and just, you know, building the whole back half of the car. Working on getting the 4-link brackets and everything set up on the axle for Epling. So pretty much trying to figure out frame width, how wide we want to set the 4-link. So the 4-link is going to end up getting set outside of the frame a little bit. That allows us to be able to mount the anti-roll bar on the frame and still bring the arms of the anti-roll bar down on top of the 4-link to hit these mount brackets that are built into these 4-link brackets. So it'll make a little bit more sense once we get it all together, but a lot of measuring and trying to make sure that I don't weld things where we don't want them. So right now, currently trying to get these brackets notched to where we can get it on the axle tube. Need to clearance it for the back brace and all that good stuff. So a lot of measuring and double checking to make sure we don't mess up. Guess what? It's Friday! And guess what else? It's 5 o'clock. Work week's over. Well, kind of. we kind of have a date with a pink truck this weekend, so it's not quite over yet, but I thought I'd show you a few things here that we've been working on today on Epling's car. Hey, look, it's Cody. And it's a lot of the back half. We decided to do as much as we can outside of the car. So we got a lot of this back structure fitted in, and he's working on welding it all up. We've got 4-link brackets almost ready to go in. Gonna box the fronts in, gotta get that welded in yet. And then I wanted to show you guys the anti-roll bar a little bit. This is a kit we've started using from Quartermax recently. I really like it. Show you some of the things that I like about it. First off, you can make it whatever width you want. So it just comes with a full tube, really thick-walled 1.5 inch chromoly, very strong, won't twist very easily. You can make this thing widths up to 36 inches. So if you have a 4-wheel drive truck and you need it really wide, you can make it really wide, but cut it to whatever width you want, weld these inserts in. It's got steel arms here versus some of the other kits have aluminum, so the splines won't strip out as easy. This is also a 6-inch arm instead of a 5-inch arm, so more leverage is a good thing in the case of an anti-roll bar. So pretty cool kit, really nice unibearing that comes with it, and yeah, all the hardware you need to mount the thing up.
Hey, look at me, I'm the new Cody.
You're the new Cody?
How did my nuts feel in the back of your
Oh.
What nuts? I can't feel nuts. I feel an indentation. Like a cavity.
Alright, it's Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Wednesday. I'm already a day behind. And we have, I don't know, 10 conundrums this week. But we're still plowing ahead on Epling's car. We've got the axle under the car and are working on getting our anti-roll bar location nailed down exactly where we need it, and getting shock mounts in, some of that kind of stuff, so we can keep running supports to the critical areas that we need them. So the main back half structure's in there, but got to finish off some of those, you know, critical components and get the bracing finished up so we can get started on putting tubs and sheet metal or sheet carbon fiber, I guess in this case. So fun week, but we'll get it done one way or another.
So we are almost, or basically kind of in our final stages. We're getting all of the carbon paneling done. We have some of it kind of done back here. Nothing obviously is riveted in. So basically we build and template everything out, and then before everything gets riveted in permanently, we have to pull everything back apart. So yeah, so we have the back section, we have the bulkhead left to do basically, which is where the top, like there's the bulkhead in the frame and the chassis itself that goes up to, right out of the windshield. So we're working on that. And then I'm kind of finishing up some of the front paneling right now. So I'll actually kind of show you guys on what we use. So all these panels that get put in this, we fit it typically halfway, like the center line of the tube. So with there being, a cage and everything, obviously, the tube runs directly into the middle of the pipe, so you have to notch the carbon for it. Well, instead of doing that with a large piece, we do, I take little pieces like this, and I'll actually trace and cut around the tube with these, basically to just make sure it's a good fit on everything, and that way we're not wasting any carbon, and all the cuts are better, because it's a lot easier and a lot more cost efficient to mess up some cardboard than it is a piece of carbon. So we were kind of working on getting all this, everything around the tunnel, and building everything back. So we have some stuff done. Hopefully have this, at least all the carbon done, wrapped up probably tomorrow mid-afternoon, and then we can pull the car all the way back apart, prep everything for paint, and get it out of here. We are finishing up the Epling Hellcat. So Logan and Jason, his dad, this is basically their toy that they're playing with. So they brought it to us, and it was a full stock body Hellcat from the factory. When we got it, had an axle in it and some stuff, but they wanted to go next level. So we did basically the two back half from the cage back, added some bars to basically change the start on the cage some. And we did it all in carbon fiber. All of the paneling and tubs, everything, all was done in carbon fiber. So it was kind of a new challenge for us. We've done some carbon work, but not a full car. So I guess this is kind of, we'll show you kind of what we did, some of the little cool things, and just little details. That always makes a big difference with it. So we'll kind of go over it and show you what we did. So kind of one of the cool things that we did, it is still an all factory steel car. It's obviously fully gutted, but he has a drag wing on it, and that we hooked him up with, and he has the factory trunk lid. So, we thought it'd be a cool idea to basically retain the factory hinges and everything, and still have some trunk access. So this is kind of, you can see majority of the back of all the carbon work. You can see the tubs. And now, guess why people ask why I do it all in carbon. Lightweight, obviously. Looks 10 times better than 10. So this was kind of what they wanted. And then obviously under the car, we went with a Moser axle and their full floater package. So that was what we did under there. 4-link, obviously, all that's all set up. Mensker shocks. So that's kind of the back end of the car. That kind of shows, we use the factory bumper support, the tail lights, everything. They actually have the center light at home. In the front end, they're actually going to an alcohol blown Hemi here, I think, within the next year or so. We tucked him a 5-gallon fuel cell up in the nose of the car. So it kind of actually matches the profile of the front wheel well. And it's going to, obviously with an alcohol engine, you burn through a lot more fuel. So that is what we used on that, and kind of we fabbed all that stuff in house. And yeah, that was basically it for the engine bay. Front side of the car, we didn't really do too much either. We did redo, he still had a factory steering column in it, factory steering wheel and everything. So we did a new steering shaft, mounts, everything for the steering. And yeah, that's pretty much on that. Disconnect steering wheel. These were a couple of the bars that we had to redo for the hoop. Did carbon fiber lays on the bars. And then, yeah, other than that, that's pretty much about it. So today, we have Logan Epling here with his Hellcat that we just got done working on, and him and his dad, Jason, they are going to be doing a lot of racing with it this year, obviously. So I'm gonna let Logan talk a little bit about it, on kind of what their goals are with it and exactly what they're doing, what kind of times they want to see out of it, and all that kind of stuff. So let's hear it.
All right, so we have a 2015 Hellcat. We bought it off the showroom floor when they first started coming out. It started out as a manual car, so we really wanted to keep it just in that aspect as a manual car and see how far we could push it. Well, the stock transmission didn't last too long, so we converted over to a Liberty and still kept it stick shift with a triple disc ground clutch. So far, 60 foots have been down low 120s, high 11s, and hopefully this year with all the new chassis work, we can get down to the 1.0s, maybe 0.9s.
1.0s is what we want.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I don't think it'll do a 0.9 hardly. So we brought it up here and let Firepunk get to it and cut all the back out of the car, all the double body layers, and go carbon fiber.
I didn't realize you guys bought it from the showroom floor.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of scary to think that you guys actually bought it from the showroom floor.
Yeah, it's literally got 5,200 miles on it.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
That's not good. Anybody wants to know what it feels like cutting Hellcat apart is actually pretty painstaking.
But especially when you cut through the outside.
Yeah.
I mean,
did we? Did we actually cut through?
I don't know.
I don't know. It must have been a ghost.
Someone said they cried about it.
Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much kind of sums up what we were doing with it. I know Logan, they're gonna have a lot of fun with it this year, and yeah, I think that's pretty much wraps it up. I think talking about bringing it back for a front half here before too awful long. Hopefully, get out of here for a couple months and go play with it and have fun. It's the whole point of building these things, so they don't always sit in the shop. So
I might try and make a few appearances in LDR this year.
yeah, that'd be awesome.